Oh, COVID-19 directly related to people's stupidity. Ooh, well that is actually surprising.
Dude, what are you reading?
What?
What?
Look at this.
Bro, you know that's fake, right? It's just a notification from social media.
What?
Isn't it ridiculous?
What? But I think it's true, right? People around me are getting more dumb and stupid.
Bro, that is totally a scam. Shut up!
What?
The hell are you two blabbering about?
What? You seeing this?
Just talking nonsense.
Oh yes, anyways, welcome to the Metanoia Talk Show with me and two co-hosts, HမြိုNG, VòNG. Today we're going to talk about what we just witnessed, mass media. Now, how many of you have watched the news lately or read a newspaper? Okay.
Well, I have just watched the news recently, just COVID-19 related stuff on most of the channels I watch.
Yeah, it's quite easy to understand since COVID-19 is this epidemic has been a big threat for everyone.
Well, that's mass media. Perhaps you're wondering why I call it mass media instead of social media, right?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
The difference here is that mass media is a combination of all media technology that can get to the masses, while social media is a computerized version of that. Though, as John is, mass media has actually been with us for centuries now. You know, even in medieval days, jesters standing in the middle of town square giving the king's rule, that is still mass media, all the way to newspapers, radios, and now we have the internet.
What? That's so surprising. I never knew about that.
That being said, you two must have used social media to research out the late situations, about the pandemic and all. How's that going? What's it like?
Well, from my perspective, a lot of fake news is spreading all around my newsfeed, mostly about the release date of the vaccine.
That's kind of bad. Can you tell us more about what's some of the more negative sides of what's going on during the pandemic with mass media? I hear it's quite bad, you know?
During the pandemic, there was a lot of fake news. Many untrusted websites tried to inform people with misleading content, such as confirming that vaccines increased the risk of death. But during this time, the majority of people around the world were affected. Some lost their jobs and some even lost their close ones. Even worse, those problems were being shared on the internet, newspaper, and the people who read it may also be concerned over what if the same happened to them. Everything can be shared on mass media, even the good and the bad.
Interesting. I didn't know it was that bad, though given enough time I do suspect that fake news will turn up eventually. Though I don't think it's all that worrisome just because, well, we do have the news from the local government to be safe on, and they don't usually lie, you know? But, well, so, tell me, what are some of the pros in the situation of having mass media in these times? Okay, will you?
Well, actually I can't deny what Phong said, since he's totally right. But please, don't be pessimistic like that, my dude. Let's look on the bright side. I can see that throughout this pandemic, our government has tried its best to disseminate all the information about vaccine and this disease to everyone. And I think that there's no faster way than using the media, right? With official information sources such as ETV or the Ministry of Health, people from various regions in our country can be updated on the latest information about the vaccine and the epidemic situation, thereby taking preventive steps as well as being highly vigilant.
On the other hand, the number of people who spent time scrolling through social media had risen during the pandemic. Ophthalmologists reported a rising number of patients seeking help with eye problems. Many people grappled with the fallout of increased screen time, which can exacerbate a medical condition known as dry eyes.
Well, we already know that most of us these days are digital natives, so it is possible that individuals tend to take more time on the internet community, which is designed for this. But in my opinion, social media also gives us several advantages. Yeah, I mean, not only can we use it as a useful way to provide education and entertainment, but also as a tool for us to interact with our family and friends. With only a gadget such as a computer or with a phone, we can easily contact with our relatives, which was impossible in the past.
Well, look at the pros and cons. If you think about it, not listening to mass media isn't going to bring you any good either. If you don't tune into the news, you won't have access to information, and losing information at these times is not wise one bit. You have to have access to which regions have COVID and when's the vaccines coming out, all that important stuff. Though, to combat all the misinformation and the fake news that people aren't always stirred up with these things, you could just rely on credible news sources like the local government or government networks for one. And is there other ones, you two? Any suggestions?
As I have said, we have VTV, BIểN Express, and I think that the announcement from Ministry of Health is one of the best choices, since it provides all the latest information about not only this epidemic and vaccine, but also about all the directives of the state.
I believe radio is a good choice. For me, because I travel by car most of the time. My dad drives, of course. And we often listen to the radio to know what is happening and to stay updated, especially when in the absence of Wi-Fi or 4G connection in the vicinity.
Well, that's all the time we have, folks. Thank you for coming and listening.
Well, we'll see you again.
See ya!
Stay safe. Cố đi!
Thầy không đọc tên em chỉ.
Nói không rõ tiếng rồi, nói không rõ chữ rồi.
And I never knew about that.
Chắc là trông có vẻ ngạc nhiên quá.
What? That's so surprising. I never knew about that. Had risen during the pandemic.
Từ Reason.
On the other hand, the number of people who spent time scrolling through social media had risen during the pandemic. I don't. Lại em gạch từ đi. Had risen during the pandemic.
Well, that should be all for That should be all for
Được hôn cả đời quá. Anh kết thế nào mà kiểu nó tin đi. See you.
Stay safe.
Tự nhiên có vỗ thêm tiếng cổ.
Goodbye.
We'll see you again.
Chỗ đấy là chỗ nào?
Welcome in.
Rồi xong quên lời này.
Từ
Social media.
Mass media.
Mass media.
Let's look into the bright side. Ash.
Right.
Let's look on the bright side. Không phải into. Let's look on the bright side.
Em phải lùi nào em vỗ được bài nó cơ. Cậu đừng muốn hết lên.
Yeah.
Từ cái là ophthalmologist và ophthalmologist.
Tôi lại không quên đặt đấy hẳn tớ.
Chỗ này nó
Lan phải ngã lại nha, bọn em quay.
Sao? Em nhìn anh làm cái quái gì?
Không, tại vì
kiểu mọi người nói không lại nhìn người
không,
khác.
tại vì kiểu em nói tới kiểu tận 90 độ luôn đi.
Cũng được mà. Kiểu ngồi xoay ra tí đấy. Còn anh sẽ làm như này.
Ok, nhất anh.
Mày bảo ngoan.
Em ngoan hả?
Anh mình có nhiều.
Nhưng mà ngủ không ai nhìn thầy thì đẹp làm cái gì hả thầy? Thầy muốn ông chúa nhìn thầy à?
Quà tặng. Quà tặng là cái gì?
Quà tặng. Có đi quà tặng còn chỉ là kiểu quà tặng.
Anh